The Chesapeake Bay's countless creeks and rivers cover more than 11,600 miles of the eastern coast of the United States. Population of the surrounding areas has doubled from about 8 million people to 16 million people living in the affected areas in the past 30 years. A federal state restoration effort began in 1983, but 30 years later we are still struggling. There are three major contributors to the poor health of our streams, rivers, and the Chesapeake Bay: nitrogen, phosphorus, and sediment. High levels of nitrogen and phosphorus fuel unnaturally high levels of algae growth in the water, blocking sunlight from reaching underwater grass that serve as food in the habitat. When the algae die, they are decomposed by bacteria that consume the oxygen in the water. Excessive amounts of nitrogen and phosphorus come from fertilizers, wastewater, septic tank discharges, air pollution, and runoff from farms, cities, and suburbs. Sediment is made up of tiny particles of dirt, sand, and clay floating in the water. When there is too much, it makes the water cloudy, which also blocks the sunlight from reaching aquatic grasses. Oysters and other bottom-dwelling species can be smothered when that sediment finally settles to the bottom. Excessive amounts of sediment are carried into our waterways from erosion and construction sites. The Federal Clean Water Act, CWA, requires states to identify polluted waterways and list them officially as impaired. The main stem of the bay and many of its rivers and streams are on the impaired waters list because of reduced levels of oxygen and pollution that kills off fish, crabs, oysters, and other aquatic life. Under the CWA, the Environmental Protection Agency is required to set limits on the pollutants that cause these waterways to be impaired.